everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm really glad you all are here because this video has been requested so much. Like almost every week I get DMs from all of you asking, how do I clear Emirates? Does my communication need to be perfect? Do I need experience? Do I need to study aviation? What are they actually looking for, etc, etc. So today I thought that I'll finally sit down and give you the real talk from my own experience. I'm not going to give you any Google information that you can look up already. I have been a part of Emirates for last year and a half, and I know things, I have experienced it, and I can definitely tell you as your friend what you should think about and what you should not overthink, what really matters and what doesn't. So that's how this conversation is gonna work, right? So let's get into it. I definitely have my laptop here with me because I don't want to mess things up. Whatever I want to tell you, I want to be very clear with it, and it's going to be a very honest conversation right here because I want this video to help as many of you as possible, and I hope it gives you a perspective by the end of the video. Okay, a disclaimer. You will probably be hearing a lot of background noise of vehicles. I am currently in India, and as you know, there is no silence in India. Even at night, you will always hear vehicles and horns. So I'm really sorry. I'm trying to make this room as silent as possible so that my words are clear. But if you keep hearing the honks, I'm really sorry for that. So I'm going to give you an honest starting point, and I'll be very clear with it. So when I applied in Emirates, I wasn't overcomplicating it in my head. I wasn't doubting myself. I wasn't shrinking myself. I did not think that I'm not good enough. This is very important. Anything that you want to do, anything that you want to achieve, initially it starts with your mental game, your mindset. What are your thoughts about yourself? Do you think that you deserve to be in Emirates or you don't? Do you think you're good enough or you are smart enough or you don't? So it all starts mentally, and that's how your preparation begins to clear the interview for Emirates, right? So I always knew that Emirates is such a premium international airline based in Dubai. They're not just hiring cabin crew, they are hiring brand ambassadors. We really need to understand this concept because based on this is how you can start your preparation for Emirates. So when you understand this concept, you get aligned with it, and when you walk into the room of assessment, into the venue, you walk in with a powerful aura. I remember clearly when I went for my interview last year, that room was full of people. Like it was more than 200 candidates. It was the Emirates headquarters in Dubai. That's where I went for my interview, and everybody looked the same. Everybody was just nervous. I don't know, as soon as I entered that room, that auditorium, I just sensed the nervousness. I just sensed how anxious people were and how they were putting up a performance in that room. Everybody, honestly, almost everybody. So when you go in with the concept that you are a brand ambassador, you are aligned with that, and in a room full of people, more than 200 people, your personality speaks before you do. I'm sure you all have heard this line because it's true. So I want to start. I've just made some notes that I want to say. The interview starts before it starts. You can walk into the room and you can notice people are over smiling. People are rehearsing the answers loudly, and some were completely silent. That's what I observed when I walked into that room. So from the way you greet people at the registration desk, from how you sit, from how you interact with other candidates, that shows a lot, So I just know that they were watching everything. So everybody knows that they are being watched. So they try to put up a performance. They try to do extra. They try to do over. And that you can completely sense, especially the people in Emirates, They are recruiters. They have been observing many, many, many candidates almost every week. So they know who is actually being authentic and who isn't. They can really catch the energy like this. I want to also give you a brief about what Emirates really represents. It's based in Dubai. It represents luxury, discipline, and global standards. So when you apply, you're not just applying for a job. You're stepping into a global brand, which is Emirates, because everybody knows about it, right? Um, so Emirates really need people who can handle pressure at 35,000 feet, who stay composed, who can calm a difficult passenger, who can represent elegance and confidence, and who can follow strict safety procedures. This is what they're looking for. So once you understand this concept, your preparation becomes logical, right? Not superficial. Uh, Instead of obsessing over, oh, is my accent good enough to clear the interview? You start focusing on, can I stay composed under pressure? And that is very important. You have to be logical when you're doing preparation. Now, there is another big topic around getting into Emirates, which is communication. Again, for communication as well, I get a lot of DMs. How should my communication be? Do I need to have a certain accent, a tone, and this and that? This is literally the most misunderstood topic. Um, for English, I'm going to be very honest. You do not need British accent. You do not need fancy or complicated vocabulary. All you need is clarity. When they say that we want you to be able to communicate well, they mean, are you able to express yourself clearly? Are you able to make your point clear with confidence and with elegance? Not by looking for fancy words when you're forming a sentence in your head, and then when you actually say it, it's vague, it's complicated, So you need clarity before anything. You need to be confident when you're communicating, right? And that happens when you don't overcomplicate things. So there's definitely in one of the rounds, there is a group discussion that happens. So you're part of a group of 6 to 7 people, depending on the day. And I was also part of a group discussion. We were given a scenario, and we all had to make points towards each other, right? It's a group discussion, not a debate. And the recruiter was just walking around us and noticing and observing everybody. So what I noticed was that there were people who were trying to dominate the discussion instead of just putting up a point and then getting silent and listening to other people. So what they look for is, are you dominating, or are you just staying silent, or are you letting others speak? Are you listening to them, or you're just like sitting and you're waiting for your turn so that you can speak? And sometimes people were just, I'm sorry to say, people were overacting. They were doing things as a show off, like they're actually putting up a performance. The recruiters are looking for how authentic you can be in a discussion, because when you fly as a cabin crew, when you're part of this company, you are always around people. Every flight you are a part of a new team. The crew is new, the pilots are new, your leaders are new, your supervisors and pursers. So how well are you able to discuss with a group of strangers? So they are assessing in the group discussion, are you able to make your point clear? Are you expressing yourself well? Are you intimidated by others? when they're making points, and then you're thinking, oh my god, I haven't said anything I need to say. So you're literally calculating every step, every action that you're doing, you're calculating it, and that shows off everything that's going on inside you during that round is coming off in your energy, in your body language, and that's what the recruiters are assessing all the time. um, are you able to respond intelligently, logically? So communication isn't about impressing, it's about clarity. Please understand this. um, Now, the second question that I also get asked is about experience and background. So, a lot of people ask me, do I need aviation experience? The answer is no. You don't need to have aviation experience. You don't need to enroll yourself in an aviation institute just because you want to get into Emirates. Please don't do that. Please don't waste your money, because when you get into Emirates, you will be trained. You will get into the Emirates College for 2 months, and they will train you according to their standards, safety procedures, emergency, service wise, everything. You will be trained, you will be taught in the college for 2 months. So don't worry about that. Okay, they in the assessment interview, on that day of assessment, they don't ask you anything technical about airplanes or about cabin crew. What they are looking for is if you have worked in hospitality or customer service or retail. This helps a lot because that's what they're looking for. Because at the end of the day, Emirates comes into service, right? You're dealing with people, you're dealing with customers and passengers. So they need to know if you have any experience with dealing with people, as in with dealing with customers. Because those kind of roles teach you patience, they teach you emotional intelligence, they teach you to be professional and problem solving, right? Because when you're in service industry or customer service, you always get a lot of feedback and problems and complaints, and I'm sure if you've done it, you have had the experience of solving them as well, right? So that's what they're evaluating actually. Now, I've already spoken about the group activities that they do, because personally, when I was part of the group discussion, there were a lot of people who were trying to interrupt each other as well, just because they thought that they haven't spoken anything, and they were cutting people off. And that is something that puts the recruiter off immediately, because you're trying to dominate, right? And because of you, the other people are not able to speak as well. So just speak when necessary, make your point clear, and then stay silent and give other people the floor to speak. That's how they look at it. All right. You need to encourage others. You need to make eye contact. You need to have a nice body language. You need to smile naturally, like you're actually sitting with your friends, because when you do a 16 hours flight with a crew, which is like, for example, you have 20 people around you for next 16 hours, how are you going to manage? Are you a people's person or no? That's what shows in a group discussion, so what they're looking for is not domination, not invisibility, just balance of everything, you know, a composed body language, encouragement to others, making your point clearly. This is what they're looking for. Now, let's talk about grooming. Obviously, when it comes to your personality, because that's definitely very important, grooming matters a lot. Your posture, your hair, your makeup, your nails, how clean they are, your outfit, and your shoes. Everything matters. I'm not gonna lie, it all matters, all right? So it's not because they're superficial, it's because you are representing a premium airline. It's a premium brand, it's international. So you must look polished before you speak. And polished does not mean expensive. I'm not telling you go into an expensive store and buy that expensive blazer or shirt or a pencil skirt or heels. No. Just make sure whatever you're wearing looks neat, clean, tidy, and polished, and your whole entire look needs to look polished, right? So, and intentional. That's what I would say. Not expensive, just whatever you have, make sure it looks the best. All right. Now, moving on to the other things, which include emotional control. One thing I consciously worked on before applying was emotional control. I practiced speaking slower. Um, I practiced pausing and steady eye contact. This is very important. It's also part of communication. Sometimes people speak very um, fast, and that kind of makes you lose your aura, and that makes you lose your importance about what you're talking. You must have noticed that there are some people who actually sit nicely in a composed manner and they talk with pause, and that actually shows a lot of elegance, and that makes you more magnetic. So there's a way of talking, there's a tone of talking, right? So here's something subtle. When you answer calmly, you automatically look more confident. When somebody asks you something, you don't need to hurry, you don't need to rush, you don't need to think, oh, I don't know the answer to that. No, just think whatever comes to your mind, say it in a nice, polite manner. Stay calm. That's very important. Even if you're nervous inside, because everybody is nervous inside, right? I was nervous inside. But are you in control of your pace? Are you in control of your energy? That's what's important. All right. Um, and the most common mistakes that I have seen people make repeatedly is people come with answers already prepared in their mind. Like they've memorized the answers overnight and they want to say exactly the same lines, and that messes up the entire thing. I'm telling you, people talk like robots because they've memorized the answers. They're talking too fast, they're trying too hard to impress, I would say. They complain about past employees, past company. They also show off a lot, like their confidence shows overacting, and that's not good. These points are just not good. That puts off the recruiter because it just shows in your body language, it shows in your energy how desperate you are for this job, for this role, and that desperation tells the recruiters that no, no, that's just a no. um, And the biggest mistake is applying without preparation. Definitely. This is not a lottery, it's a selection process. And the points that I've been talking to you about are important because I'm talking to you with real experience, with what I have done. And something that actually is important when you go for these assessments, because there's such a big hype about Emirates interviews and the filtration is massive. Not everyone gets selected, and which is true. This company, this brand receives more than 1 million applications every year, and very few get selected. What's really important as well is your nonchalance. Like, as I said already, are you looking desperate for this role, or you're okay and you're just being yourself, your authentic self? Like, this is my personality, this is how I am. I'm calm, I'm composed. Yes, I would love to be a part of this brand and, all of these things, but I mean, from inside, you can be desperate. Like, there are people who have the dream to be in this company, to get this job, right? So it's okay, you should, and that's how you should prepare. But do you show that desperation to the recruiters? I don't think so. You shouldn't. It just shows off very weirdly. That energy is very weird. So what actually helped me, or what actually increased my chances of selection, is consistency. Like, I worked on communication daily, as in, as you all know, I don't know if you've seen my videos on Instagram. Ever since school, I have been out of schools for last 8 years. Ever since school, I have been very, very disciplined with my communication. I always knew that communication is important in your life. It makes you stand out, it brings you opportunities, because communication is how you can express yourself, and you can literally draw power to yourselves in a room full of people. Now, when I say communication, I'm not saying, oh, have the accent, find fancy words. No, that is a plus point, you know. What I mean by communication is being able to express yourself well without overthinking words and sentences in your mind, you know. And once you get to that point, yes, there is a plus point of knowing more words, improving your vocabulary, so that automatically you can put in some nice fancy words when you're communicating with other people. But this is, I'm talking about general, you know, generally in life, communication is important. So you work on your communication, you work on your posture, how you're sitting, how you're talking, and how composed you are, how self-aware you are, like what are your strengths and weaknesses, what are you really good at. I didn't try to be someone else. That is very, very important. Please don't try to be someone else. I'm sure you have people online that you look up to, you admire, you're like, I like the way she talks, I like the way he dresses up or she dresses up, I like their life and this and that. That is okay, as long as you're getting inspired by them and acting on yourself. That is okay, but don't start comparing. Don't try to be like someone. Be yourself, because you are unique and you have your own personality which nobody has. So you need to believe in that. You need to be confident that you deserve this job, and Emirates needs you. Emirates needs someone like you. You need to really set that in your mind, and that's how things start flowing to you, right? So don't try to be someone else. You need to refine who you already are, because you definitely have a lot of qualities. You are unique, so just refine, just work on it slowly and gradually, right? And I would definitely say that Emirates doesn't hire perfect people. There is nobody perfect, right? They hire stable and polished personalities. No, they don't hire people who overdo things, who overcomplicate things, who have weird energy and desperation, and I am the best, and everybody's I don't know, like, I am better than everybody, I definitely deserve this. That is a good mind, but not me, myself, and I. They don't like that. They want somebody who's a team person, because a plane flies at 35,000 feet for several hours, and it's not a one person's job. So they are looking for someone who's a team person. So yes, I am the best and I deserve the best, but not in a way that I am better than everybody else. You know, everybody has their own unique personality. At the end of the day, the results come on the basis of who had refined their personality and who has not worked on themselves at all. So how much you're investing in yourself is what really shows up when you go for the interview. What's going on inside of you is what reflects outside of you, right? So if you're watching this video and thinking, I really want this, I really, really want to get into Emirates, then take this seriously, all right? Don't rush to apply next week, okay? Give yourself 3 to 6 months, I would say. I don't know where you are in terms of your communication, in terms of your awareness, in terms of your self-worth, but give yourself at least from 3 to 6 months before you apply, all right? Work on your communication, upgrade your communication. I've also shared how you can do it. Read books, you know, start reading. That definitely helps. Watch people talk. Watch people talk. I have done this. I've been doing this ever since my school. I used to watch travel vlogs a lot. I love watching vlogs. I do that now as well. So watch people, how they're framing sentences just like that, you know, how easy it is for them to speak in English. Watch people that you like, watch some interviews, watch TED Talks, some speeches maybe, and read, definitely. And then practice in front of the mirror. Upgrade your grooming, start investing in yourself, start investing in your personality. Maybe change your style. Find somebody on Pinterest that looks like you, kind of try to match that vibe, have a vibe, you know. Go for a walk, go do some workouts, start that internal glow up, and then obviously the external will follow. And also work on your emotional maturity. And then when the day of assessment comes, walk into the room feeling aligned with that whole concept, not desperate, not intimidated, just aligned, like a balanced personality. All right. So if you would like, I can make part 2 where I go deeper into how to prepare strategically before even submitting your application. Like what you should actually focus on step by step. You can comment cabin crew below if you want that. And if you're serious about Emirates, I want you to walk into that assessment when you prepared, not hopeful, prepared. All right. So just trust me. Preparation feels different from luck. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you all got some clarity. I hope I changed some perspectives that you had towards Emirates and towards the assessment program, towards the assessment procedure. I hope this video helped you all and you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.